hello, everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cavs. Mike and Jay. Shalom, Big E. Hello, Jay.
Hey, guys.
How are you, my friend?
Very, very well.
Yeah, I like that shirt. Is that a piranha? It is, isn't it?
Just like the last time you asked about it. Yes, it remains a piranha.
There are a couple shirts in your arsenal that I think I ask about every single.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Gab's gym one, that sweatshirt. I just love the colors of it. They just pop.
Speaking of great sweatshirts, Mike, what is this you're donning today?
I don't know.
Don't know. It's a nice hoodie, nice zip up. I've never seen that before. It looks kind of athletic, right?
Well, Under Armour.
Ah.
I must have bought this somewhere when I was cold. It fit
One of
well.
those.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, it's not your normal style. It kind of
No.
looks, yeah.
I think I got
Athletic.
this maybe when I was in California last. Speaking of which, I'm doing that again on Wednesday, going to California, and I've been trying to secure. You know, we were talking a couple months ago about college football and what a cool atmosphere and how every college has their own thing they do.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, T, we should go to a game somewhere, man. Pick a spot. And then it was like, well, we got a house in California we could go to. Why don't we go there? We'll go to a Stanford game. They got the band that's all wacky and stuff.
They are wacky, yeah.
They dress like trees and they play tin cans and stuff. I'm like,
I believe their mascot is a tree, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it is as
A
well.
wily tree. I mean, really wily, dancing around, moving about.
The Stanford Cardinal, little known fact.
Yeah, it's the color.
It's not
cardinals.
It's not cardinals.
They're not birds.
God damn you people. And that hideous, ugly fucking female cardinal. I'm sorry. I know it's all about, oh, she's got to be able to hide. She looks like a hag.
Hey, without allowing her to hide, we wouldn't have more beautiful male cardinals. I love the cardinal.
Just go hide in something red then. Don't look like a hag. She doesn't even look like she tries. And he's just
the cardinal's
gorgeous.
majestic.
Oh, the little point at the top of the head.
I love how you see him in the winter, too. The juxtaposition against the white snow, right? They'll be the red cardinal. It's beautiful.
There's a couple
second
out
only
back.
to the tufted titmouse.
Of course, obviously, anything in the tit family takes first place. We all know that.
Look at
that hag. She's hideous compared to him. He's like, what happened?
I told you, we got to respect it. Without her, we have no more red ones.
I feel like she should find something red and just stand there all year.
I just love the shape of the head, the plumage and everything, you know?
Dude, birds are the shit.
Yeah, they're pretty interesting. I would never want one as a pet, but they're really... The whole talking aspect, we've mentioned this before. Unbelievable.
The mockingbird.
It's amazing.
The mockingbird.
Yeah.
Ma, you got an owl in the backyard. No, I don't. It's a mockingbird.
Mockingbird. Acting like... What's his end game? Why? Why would he do that?
To make other birds think there's an owl in the vicinity that might kick his ass? I mean, I don't know, but he's making all kinds of weird noises. I watched another one of those, David Attenborough or, PBS, who's the other guy that does them famously. Anyway, I think it was Attenborough, and he was doing a thing on birds. And we were watching over the weekend, and these dudes, I mean, we've discussed it before. It's all about crushing pussy, and you know what I mean? Like, that's their whole end game, whether it's like, look at my green thing, and they just pow. The amount of birds out there, dude, that have plumage, you can't even fathom. Like, spirally plumage, they'll get into a position, be like, bang!
That's a common move for birds. They are really into this. It's impress the ladies.
Look
Boom!
at me!
Yeah.
Dude, they'll get their crib done up, and they're like, and it's like, oh, the whatever bird, he's cleaning his place to impress the and there's always some sexual innuendo based in his words, even, if he's gonna bring home the lady, and wink wink, he's got to get his place, and he's out there and he's sweeping his floor, and he's like, oh, pebble's in the way, grab that pebble, chuck it, and then he gets in his position, when one's by, he's just like, caw caw, and then some skank, usually a skank, and they, oh, she gotta hide. Some skank shows up, and she's just like, go ahead, what do you got? And he's like, oh, yeah? How about this? Fluorescent green and black. Boom! You ever seen this before? And she's like, I've seen better. And then she leaves. And I'm like, you fucking bitch. How dare you? All the work that he did. And then all of a sudden, he's like, oh, man, that stinks. And he goes over, he dances over to this other tree, and he finds this bright blue leaf. And he's like, that ought to do it. He puts that in the center of his room, and then another bitch comes by, and next thing you know, he's just drilling her on bread. I'm like, he knew.
Bright blue.
And then there's another guy, he spends a week taking twigs, the perfect twigs, he's snapping them off, and he builds like what looks like an overstuffed, crown of thorns. It's just this perfect U-shaped, and he can land in it, and she can come in there.
A nest of sorts.
Yes, but it's meticulously done. Each stick placed. Each one.
Nests are amazing. You look
They are.
you look out there in the winter
Yeah.
when all the leaves fall, and you're like, how is that nest remaining between those two branches? Like it's just in there perfectly, just built incredibly strong.
It's unbelievable.
It's as if they've had millions of years of evolution to do this.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Bruce. Yeah. I need a basket.
Like
I'm
that-
gonna make
I
one.
know.
That thing will stay there all winter.
I know.
Oh, yeah,
It
it'll
is
survive.
crazy.
It's amazing.
So this guy gets this meticulous U-shaped. It's fat, thick, the whole thing. And which he goes first. I don't know if he's going to get some food or if he's taking his girl out for dinner or whatever he's doing. Wouldn't you know it? Another one of his, same thing as him, comes over to his crib and just starts trashing the place. Starts ripping the fucking nest apart, throwing shit on the floor.
Oh, what an asshole.
Trying to make his crib all fucked up. So when he gets home, he's like, oh, what happened? I had this pimp-ass pad for the ladies, and now it's ruined.
The whole game is procreation.
I do
Isn't
think
that
about
something?
that with spider webs too. You know, because no one likes to walk your
No.
space.
They're
Spider
dope,
webs
though.
look really bad and stuff like that. So it's like we just sit there and you go, get this out of here, and like they
Yeah.
must just be like, dude,
You know how long I worked on
right?
that?
Like,
It's an art piece.
and then the next day they'll just be there again a lot of times. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like
I got
What
into a
else do
fight
they
with
have
a-
to do?
I know,
Right?
right?
bugs. I don't know. I was trying to hook one guy up. It was awesome. I did this last summer. There's a green guy out back, green spider, and he keeps making this giant web. And I was doing that for a while. He'd hose it down, or I'd get the leaf blower out and just wail it, and then he'd be like, "God damn it!" And like 2 hours later, it'd be back again. And I'd occasionally catch him doing it, making the web, and he's like, "Bro, really?" And I'd be like, "No, finish up. This will go well for you." Woo! And I just mow it down. And then I caught some bugs, like in the like flies or whatever in the house, and I was dropping them into his web and watching him go. Ah! He'd fucking run after it and start, trying to tie it up, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's a dead one already. I don't want that one.
Yeah, they don't want that
I
shit.
don't want that one. That stinks." But yes, they're
That
amazing.
stuff just comes
man.
out of their ass, right? That's the deal.
I don't think they're
silk.
shitting webs.
Where does it come out of?
It's their ass region, right?
Okay.
Region, yeah, but
It's different than their buttock, though.
yeah.
I believe.
Do they have buttock? Do they have a butthole?
They
Do
must
spiders
excrete.
Not all animals do.
No?
I don't think the butterfly shits. Yeah, I think it comes out of the cocoon and doesn't shit. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. But that going back to the cardinal, which is not a bird. It's, what is it? Is it the color or is it the tree that they're going after? 'Cause the Stanford cardinal, the tree is their
Color, right?
Okay. I don't know. I'll probably learn that.
This is gonna like. I think this gets to the point where it shows you like look at here.
Look at them working.
Don't they say that web is like
here.
what makes up that web is stronger than steel? And I'm like, bullshit. I've punched through webs. I've never been able to punch through a steel bar. You know? So I don't know where
This
to
was
get
time lapse.
The spider then travels along the line, spinning as it goes to reinforce the bridge.
Hope no one comes by and trashes this.
I know, right?
Piece I'm
Then
making here.
it spins a loose thread along the bridge thread.
Are we being taught
and
by a 4-year-old
anchors
here?
it at the bottom.
Then a
to
guy
make
walks by with a
Y-shaped
leaf
thread.
blower.
Yeah, I thought this was
This
gonna be,
Ruins his day.
I was hoping that was
Move
gonna
it
be a
in
little
and
more
out of the
time
hub
lapse
or
or
the
whatever.
center of the web.
Remember that dude we watched? He would make it across that whole bridge.
Finally, the
Yeah,
spider
That one he
yep.
would like swing all the way out there,
Yeah.
and I can't remember what the point was.
Remarkable.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm going out to California, and it was like me, T, and Tooch are going, and I'm like, dude, we'll go to the Stanford Cal game on Saturday, and the Niners Packers game on Sunday. How dope is that? Well, then the Niners don't lose a fucking game all year, and the tickets for goddamn walking into the vicinity, you can't even get into the city for less than $600.
Oh, no.
And so I've been working angles, every fucking angle I have. Like, dude, who do I know that has some connection inside this pro sports world, that can make a couple calls on my behalf?
Yeah.
I've made plenty of calls for others. And so I'm working on this, and it's getting close, and I'm like, oh, man, what am I going to do? Dude, they've now flexed that game. It's now the Sunday Night Football game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm like, oh, that'll make tickets cheaper. Sure. The national prominent game featured on Sunday night.
Now, what happens if you only get two? Two.
I'm in.
Yeah,
period.
you're in, and who else is in?
I don't know. Tooch and T-Roy can fight to the death for that one.
Hmm.
I don't really know. But, yeah, I would obviously be in. I'm the big Niners fan. And, yeah, dude, it was like as soon as we booked the flights a couple months ago, T-Roy goes, he started looking at price. He goes, Stanford Cal, no problem, man. Ain't no thing. $20, we get the tickets for that. He's looking at he's like, the Niners probably 5-0 at the time. It's like $180 for standing room only right now.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, yeah, we'll get him. We'll figure it out. Then you come back a couple weeks later. 2 more wins, and now they're fucking $300 for standing room only. And dude, it's like $1,200 for a ticket between the 20s.
That.
A ticket. Yeah.
Oh my God.
If anyone out there wants to hook a
Regular
brother up,
season.
has,
Regular
you know,
season Sunday night football game.
just happens to have a few or more Packers Niners tickets floating around they're not using, let an old friend know. I mean, I'm trying everything I can, but yeah, it should be fun, man. But anyway, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, hey, Arnold Roofing. They're a listener-owned business that serves Southeast Michigan surrounding areas since 1998. They specialize in repairs, replacements, and new roofs. Arnold Roofing has the experience and knowledge to provide you a reliable product backed by quality workmanship and extensive warranties. Get this, they'll do the work with no money down. You pay on completion. That means Arnold Roofing is dedicated to your complete satisfaction. So get roofed up proper. Go to arnoldroofing.com for free estimates and more information, or call 248-634-0189.
What is it you always say, Jay, about your lying guilty defendant?
Never, ever put your lying guilty defendant on the stand. Trump wants to go to the stand, doesn't he?
No, I wasn't even going to go there. And this isn't the stand, but I think it's fitting for Prince Andrew. He decided to put himself on the stand by doing an interview over the weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that on BBC Two,
Yeah.
I believe it was.
It's like he was sinking in quicksand.
Didn't go so well for him. What is I guess he's been in negotiations with the Queen for a year. I could do it, Ma. I could do it. I'll be really good on the stand. I'll go in there and I'll tell him what's up and it'll go great. And finally she's like, fine. And he's actually telling her, yeah, for all intents and purposes, that was a smash hit. And the rest of the world's going, are you shitting me? You fucking moron. You came off like a complete boob. And now people are going, they might want to reopen some investigations based on his horrible lying bullshit answers.
What was that there for? I don't even understand.
Well, he spoke publicly for the first time, no holds barred interview.
This is Chuck's brother, then?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. About his relationship with billionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh,
who,
okay.
quote unquote, committed suicide in jail. Denying he ever had sex with his sex slave, Virginia Roberts. She's the girl that was like 17, 16, and was, being tossed around by these guys.
She's been really outspoken about Prince
Yes.
Andrew in particular.
Yes. And who else? There's someone else. Well, Jeffrey, obviously, but Prince Andrew's her big one. Maybe Clinton for a while. But she's like, yeah, I had sex with Prince Andrew when I was 17, like 3 or 4 times at this place. I met him at this bar in London. And there's pictures of him with his arm around her, and they're going, I don't know if that picture's valid. His fingers look too chubby around her waist.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, dude. So, he sits down to the Duke of York, as he's known, faced questions on BBC Newsnight. He maintained he does not recall meeting Ms. Roberts, did not spend time with her at Tramp nightclub in London on March 10th in 2001, which she claims is where the pair first had sex. He denied he slept with her on 3 separate occasions, saying the encounter in 01 did not happen because I'd taken my daughter, Princess Beatrice, to a party, and we spent the rest of the day together. He said, I was with the children. I'd taken Beatrice to a Pizza Express in Woking for a party, and I suppose sort of 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And then because the Duchess was away, we have a simple rule in the family that when one is away, the other one is there. He knows all these intricate details about this one night in 2001. And they're like,
yeah, but those royals are strange enough where I bet there's some, royal calendar that's kept, right? And they can probably go back. This isn't a Brett Kavanaugh situation where he's pulling out old calendars from a box in his dad's basement.
Well,
there probably is some official royal calendar that holds all of the doings, comings, and goings of the royal family. And so for context, that's right.
I was in Woking.
Yeah.
I was in Woking at a Pizza Express. Well, the interviewer goes, doesn't it seem weird you don't remember meeting this person or that person or this or that?
But yet
you have all these fucking details about Pizza Express. The name of the place, what city it was in, who you were with, what day specifically. And he said, because going to Pizza Express in Woking is an unusual thing for me to do. A very unusual thing for me to do.
It's extraordinary.
It's unbelievable. You waited in line. They brought it to your table. It was
It's
spectacular.
with the commoners.
Pizza Express. If you haven't had one of these, they're delicious. You should try. So it was a really unusual thing for me to do. She has seemingly vanished from the face of the earth, but the importance of British socialite, and I don't even know how to pronounce her name, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah.
She was the procurer
Right.
for Epstein, right? She was the one that would find a young girl and then convince her to go to her school and convince young girls to come over. And what 15-year-old's not going to want to hang out with a billionaire and get spoiled rotten, but just costs her virginity.
Yeah,
and-
one who doesn't want to bang said billionaire. I don't know.
But you can see how easily you could pluck a handful
Yeah.
out of a school. They say is really important in unraveling the truth about Prince Andrew's relationship with Epstein. She's become even more important after last night or 2 nights ago's interview. Time and again, the Prince invoked his friendship with Maxwell as the reason he came into Epstein's orbit. Asked when he last saw her early last year when she was here doing some rally. Asked if they discussed Epstein at all. No.
Never came out.
Sure.
No.
Yeah. Well, sure. Why would it? Why would it? Actually, no. Funnily enough, no, not at all. There wasn't anything discussed about him because
There wasn't any discussion where he was going, fuck, I'm so fucked. I'm fucked.
the Queen is furious with me. Prince Charles has had it with me.
That didn't happen?
No, sure. That's probably what it was. She walked in the door. He locked it behind her and went, fuck! You said no one would know. How is there a picture of my fat fingers around her waist? No, not at all. There wasn't anything discussed because he wasn't in the news, you know. It was just, we had moved on. Andrew also said he went to visit Epstein. They're like, you were at his apartment in 2010. This is after he was a convicted pedophile. You went to his place for 4 days in 2010. Why was that? He said, well, I went back and forth on this a lot. And I needed to tell him that it was inappropriate for us to be seen together, and I needed to cut off the relationship. I figured better to do it in person.
For 4 days.
So I went there for 4 days, and they're like, what? Why did you stay at his apartment? He's like, it's just more convenient to...
Yeah.
It is.
That's genius. You could have called him and said, you know what, fuckface, lose my number. You know, you've been banging young chicks and all this stuff. You got caught. We didn't. Shut your mouth and carry on. Now they're traipsing around, Central Park together, photographed. So Andrew blamed Maxwell for bringing Epstein to Windsor Castle in Sandringham in 2000. He was the +1, so he wasn't invited, but showed up with her. Let's see. Roberts previously described their time together in London in vivid detail, claiming that Andrew had been sweating as they danced together in the London nightclub. Andrew said, well,
This is right here. This fact right here.
slight problem with her statement.
I don't sweat.
Slight problem with the sweating because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat or I didn't sweat at that time.
He's a pig.
Wow.
No sweat glands, Jesus.
He's a panoose. Maybe he's
Yeah.
a stalk.
Dicks don't. The stalk of a dick does not sweat.
Maybe he's
Proven
made
fact.
up of panoozle meat only,
Maybe.
and he doesn't sweat.
Oh, didn't he say like after some helicopter incident or something? 'Cause
Yes.
Wasn't he in the military?
He was in the military, he's in the Falklands.
Right.
I didn't sweat at the time because I had suffered what I would describe as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War
He sweated it all out of him.
Really?
when I was shot at, and it was almost impossible for me to sweat. And I did say, I want to be clear, I didn't say when I was shot in the Falklands, when I was shot at. So someone went ping, ping,
Yeah.
took a couple shots, didn't hit him. But the adrenaline
Now he
rush,
just can't sweat anymore, huh?
can't sweat. Well, maybe he can now, but back then,
The Falkland War. Wasn't that like for 10 minutes?
I think
Right?
so. Yeah.
Wasn't it against the Argentinians? Am I wrong on that?
Perhaps.
Jesus.
Dude, I don't know
DuckDuckGo
anything
that.
about it. But
I think Argentina was involved. So
they-
let's assume, for the sake of argument, Argentina shoots at him.
yeah.
Yeah, now he
Misses
can't sweat.
big time. But he can't sweat. The adrenaline rush. So, to clear this up once and for all, I'm afraid to say there's a medical condition that says that I didn't do it.
Ah, okay.
I mean, it was, I guess, a few months, but
He
Yeah,
says,
Argentina invaded the Falkland Islands.
that's awesome.
They had gumption back then. You
And it
know,
was
10
enough to-
weeks. I'm sorry, I said a couple weeks. 10 weeks, undeclared war between Argentina and the UK in 1982.
And so the palace had to send representation, so they just sent old Phil over there.
Yeah.
Send Philip. Have someone shoot at him. And so, yeah, he says a lot of stuff, like, I don't drink, I don't party, I don't sweat. And
And here
like,
come the pictures.
Here come the pictures of all the nightclubs, and he's like, I don't touch people, I don't get handsy and
PDAs.
PDA,
Totally
yeah.
against them.
I'm totally against public displays of affection. Boom, 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 boom. 4 pictures of different chicks. Him fucking all hugged
Did
up
they
on
do
the
this
club,
while he's in the
sweating. Looks like he's sweating.
like they show them to the
No,
Real
they're doing
time.
it now.
Oh,
They're doing it now.
Because I was gonna say be interesting if they had that for the interview.
What about this, Prince?
Nobody could have seen he was going to bring up the "I don't sweat" card.
Yeah, everybody's
how
like, wow. Okay.
you can be prepared for a lot. You want to know where the interview's going and expect, but when someone pulls the "I don't sweat" card from being shot at in the Falkland Islands, I mean, you can't expect them to pop up a bunch of pictures of him sweating. So I give him a pass on that. Question about the photo of him and Ms. Roberts together. Sources close to Andrew have said there are questions over the veracity of the photo. The hand around the accuser's waist just doesn't look right. I've looked at that photo a lot, and it looks plenty right.
Doesn't?
Yeah.
I mean,
You've
seen it, yeah,
I mean,
but I never really thought about it too much.
Virginia Roberts, Prince Andrew picture. He's saying stuff like, "It appears that photo is on the upstairs of the apartment. I would never go upstairs there." And you're like, okay, so that proves that this is a doctored photo. Listen, I don't remember that photo ever being taken. And referring to his hand, from the investigations that we've done, he's had a team of people doing investigations to see if there's any way to prove that this photo is
Photoshop.
bullshit. If you scroll out further, you can see his other hand, which his fingers look red as shit in that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say
that
that's
seemed to match, right? His strangely
lot.
red hands.
and
I would never look at that and go, oh, doctored, Photoshop
Yeah.
for sure. If it is Photoshop, it's very, very well done.
if that was what you were trying to do, was Photoshop Andrew into
Yeah, wouldn't you have him
Wouldn't you have
dong out, dong
have a
extended?
ball hanging out or have him grabbing her titty,
Right.
But no, it's just that innocent. But
What do you think, E? Does that look odd to
Yeah,
you
it
at all?
looks fine to me. Looks like a normal photo. Like, so the deal is that he just flat out says this is, oh, that's not me.
Didn't happen.
he says from the
this
investigations that
lady?
we've done,
Who's this
that's
then?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
She can't confirm whether that photo happened or not.
She's gone. We don't know where she is right now. It's
Oh.
rumors that
She
she's
ain't talking.
I see.
from the investigations that we've done, you can't prove whether or not that photo is faked or not because it's a photo of a photo of a photo. So it's very difficult to be able to prove it. But I don't remember that photo ever being taken. Virginia Roberts claims she was forced to have sex with Andrew 3 times and was furious about this interview. The interview was totally lacking in empathy. He did not utter a word of remorse for any of Epstein's multitude of victims. It is telling that the prince is so out of touch, he tries to make the interview all about him. Elsewhere, he's asked if he could have had sex with any young woman trafficked by Epstein at any of his residences, and issues a rambling response. If you're a man, it is a positive act to have sex with somebody. You have to take some sort of positive action, and therefore, if you try to forget, it's very difficult to try and forget a positive action. And I don't remember anything.
Could have just said no.
Not a
Didn't do
good
that.
answer. If you're a man, it is a positive act to
Yeah.
have sex with
Yes.
somebody. You have to take some positive action. And therefore, if you try to forget, it's very difficult to try and forget a positive action. And I don't remember anything.
Wow.
What are you
Bringing
talking
neuroscience
about?
into it.
What a dipshit. He was asked if he felt any sense of guilt or shame over his friendship.
Is he suggesting that just because you have a positive thing from your life that it would be impossible to forget
That
that?
sounds like it.
I think people regularly have things where it's like you bring something up and like, holy fuck, dude, I forgot that was a fun night or
Yep.
some shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
So he's then asked if he has any sense of guilt or shame over his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. Do I regret that fact that he has quite obviously conducted himself in a manner unbecoming? Well, yes. So he regrets the fact that he has quite obviously conducted himself in a manner unbecoming. There's one more. I love this, and we'll get on. Defending his decision to stay with Epstein after his release from jail, I went there with the sole purpose of saying to him that because he had been convicted, it was inappropriate for us to be seen together. And I had a number of people counsel me in both directions, either to go see him or not go see him. And I made the judgment call that because this was serious, and I felt that doing it over the telephone was the chicken's way of doing it. But asked why he decided to continue staying with the sex offender, it was a convenient place to stay. I mean, I've gone through this in my mind so many times. At the end of the day, it was definitely the wrong thing to do. But at the time, I felt It was the honorable and right thing to do, and I admit fully that my judgment was probably colored by my tendency to be too honorable.
He's
But
so
that's
worried about
just the way it is.
He's so worried about the convenience of staying in Manhattan. He doesn't have the ability to get. It's
just too honorable.
Have a
Yeah,
penthouse suite, probably like a whole floor, probably.
Dude, he actually said, "This is the problem. I'm just way too honorable of a person, and sometimes I get bitten in the can for that. I'm so honorable." Yeah, he dismissed his 4-day visit to Epstein's New York house of depravity by describing it as just a convenient place to stay while he broke off the friendship in an honorable way. Yeah. And then Sarah Ferguson has come out to defend him. What a great guy. I think he was married to her, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. And like, oh my God, what an amazing, perfect man, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I forgot how they all fit together, but yeah, they were married. Fergie.
Yeah.
The original Fergie.
What? Yeah, right? And then someone's come out now and says he used the N-word. Oh,
Jeez.
Prince, you need to just go in the background. He should be ashamed of himself. He was today accused of using the phrase N-word in the woodpile.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I think he should be ashamed of himself. I think he should go into the background.
He did this during a Buckingham Palace meeting with a top British Asian aide. Just throwing the N-word around in front of an Asian? Rohan Silva, who worked for David Cameron, has deepened the Duke of York's crisis, had said he was left reeling at the prince's use of the language. This guy's a tech entrepreneur who writes for the Evening Standard and told the newspaper that he met Andrew in 2012 and asked him if he felt the government could be doing a better job on boosting trade with the world. Andrew responded, "Well, if you'll pardon the expression, that really is in the woodpile," upsetting Mr. Silva, who is of Sri Lankan descent. Would the Sri Lankans be offended by someone uttering the N-word around? I mean,
just like you were surprised that he would do that in front of a minority, right? And that minority.
is that all that it is? That it's in front of a minority? Because anybody could take offense to someone uttering that word around them.
Sure, but it would suggest to that minority, dude, you're ripping on another minority. Like,
Yeah.
do you have respect for me? That would sort of the subtext.
He says he met the Duke a year earlier, and on that occasion, the Duke told him, "You'll never get anywhere by playing the white man." Once bandied around casually, the phrase, do a little history lesson for you, E, because I don't know if you're going to do this for history. N-word in the woodpile originated in America in the mid-19th century before the abolition of slavery. Collins' English Dictionary defines the phrase, which it calls old-fashioned and offensive,
Outmoded.
yes, as a hidden snag or hindrance. In the Oxford Dictionary, it's described as it's a concealed motive or unknown factor affecting a situation in an adverse
the fly
way.
in the ointment.
It is, right? The Oxford Dictionary of Slang says the phrase, now taboo, is applied to an unsuspected or hidden factor that has an adverse effect. Brewer's Dictionary says the phrase in fable was originally a way of accounting for the disappearance of fuel. It then came to be used for any hidden snag or problem. The reference to disappearance of fuel is thought to allude to an outdated, prejudiced, racist belief about the frequency which the black people stole property from the almighty white people. Another theory is the phrase originated. It alluded to escaped slaves who concealed themselves behind wood piles to hide or escape capture.
I like to help minorities.
Buckingham Palace has come out and said, "We strenuously deny that these words were ever used." Mr. Silva says, "For a long time afterwards, I kicked myself for not confronting the prince on his choice of words, and it's something I still regret today. After all, he clearly wasn't taken to task very often by people around him, which meant offensive language went unchallenged." So, yeah, he says, when he said, "You'll never get anywhere by playing the white man," he's like, I genuinely had never heard that. I didn't know what it meant. So he races home, hops on DuckDuckGo, and types that into his old, machine. He said, the definition flashed up on my screen, an old-fashioned saying used during colonial times. You would like that, E. You love colonial times.
I do.
Meaning that only white people can be trusted to follow the rules, unlike dark-skinned natives.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Royal claimed he has defiantly, I told you that, Royal source claimed, he has defiantly told his mom, the Queen, his appearance on BBC Two Newsday special was largely a grand success.
Yeah, boy.
The one thing he did say to a friend apparently is, he forgot to say anything about the victims in this. Like,
Damn, I just like the camera went off and just like, oh shit, can we restart? Thanks for sorry to the victims and shit.
it's kind of like Ron McClain were watching his thing.
Yeah.
Like 20 minutes on fucking Don Cherry, and not a word about those people who may have
Nothing.
Just about his own honorableness and not
Yeah.
the possible victims here.
Hey guys, your blinds, they're filthy and in disrepair, so call the Blind Biz, the official window treatment company of the Detroit Cast. Listener Rich has been doing blinds for 19 years, and he can transform your windows from looking like the cover of Trailer Trash Weekly to the cover of Better Homes and Garden. They service all of Metro Detroit, offer free shop-at-home appointments and free installation. Mention TDC, and Rich will offer you 20% off your next purchase over $3.99. Check them out online at theblindbiz.com.
Look at this studio, Jay. Look at the work, Rich, the fine work that Rich from the
goodness,
Blind Biz has done around here. Stunning.
Beautiful.
Absolutely stunning. God, you don't usually see Asian men getting gunned down in gang violence in their backyards, do you? So what's going on in California? There's a lot of shootings in California of late. I thought they basically banned guns in California.
I think they did, yeah.
It's
Didn't they?
illegal to shoot
They're,
people. You can't have the big magazines. I don't think you can have assault weapons at all. Yet here we are.
Here we are.
4 Asian men are killed.
Just watching some tackle ball.
Yeah. Sounds like, dude, I wish I was at that party.
Do you?
45, well, not until the gunman showed up. The gunman. 6 others injured in a mass shooting at a backyard party during the Sunday Night Football game. Police said a gunman or multiple gunmen snuck into the backyard, opened fire at the home where dozens of people were watching the game about 6 p.m. So I was like, oh, were they watching the Niner game? If that was Eastern Standard Time, they would have been watching probably the Niner game. But it's probably West Coast time, and so it was 9 o'clock, which means they were probably watching that lousy Bears-Rams game.
Oh.
Yeah, 17-7 Rams win. And a lot of controversy there. Trubisky goes out with the hip injury, and they bring the backup in, and oh, boy.
Who?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a dick. I just don't know who
Mitchell
it is.
Trubisky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hope his hip gets better soon.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
he, right?
It's a he, yeah. As far as I know. I mean, I've never asked him.
wow, what an
He identifies,
assumption.
But, yeah, he's sucked a giant dick this year. He was a
Gotcha.
rookie last year and was like, all the shit. It was like, oh, man, we're going to have to deal with Trubisky.
What team does
for
he
the
play
next
for?
12 years. The Bears.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he sucks a dick this year, and everyone's like, cut him. Get him out of here.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, they snuck into the backyard and opened fire. 3 people found dead in the backyard. 4th died in the hospital. 6 others are being treated in a hospital, but expected to survive. All of the victims were Asian men between the ages of 25 and 35. What could these young Asian men do that made these men so angry?
Is this gang related?
I mean, I would assume.
Yeah, it could be drug related, gang related. They said they don't know of any gang ties or anything like that. I mean, is it possible that you would just randomly show up at an Asian backyard party and just start mowing people down?
I mean, anything.
I guess I would just assume. Whether they say it or not, I would assume still that it's gang related.
California has been rocked lately by a series of mass shootings. Last Thursday, 16-year-old gunman Nathaniel Burhoff shot 5 students at his high school in Santa Clarita, killing 2. He shot himself in the head. Remember, they said he's under arrest. He's in police custody, but he's at the hospital.
He did.
for injuries. Yeah, he shot at his own head with his .45 cal handgun and died the next day. Motive still unclear there. No links to terrorist groups or extreme ideology.
Now I got you.
Saturday, a man shot dead his wife, 3 of their children in San Diego before killing himself, and then leaves a 4th kid on life support. You're in San Diego, man. How do you get that angry in San Diego?
It's like an X-Files episode. Maybe there's something in the water or something, you know what I mean? Like where they're just doing that.
Dude, San Diego just moves at a fucking slower pace, man. It's 85 and sunny every fucking day. Every day of the year. It's perfect.
No problems in San Diego.
You can't have problems when it's 85 and sunny every day. This guy must not be a local. He must be a transplant. Last month, there were 2 mass shootings. How do you blow up people at a Halloween party? Leaving 8 people dead in Long Beach and Orinda, members of rival gangs from San Francisco and
Gangs.
Marin City. I can't even remember what the real...
Marin.
I don't remember.
It's Marin.
It's
Marin.
Marin.
Okay.
God damn you. It's Marin. So, rival gangs from San Francisco and Marin City were among those at the party. So, 40 mass shootings in California in 2019. Yeah.
Holy shit.
They do believe this backyard party was
How
definitely
is-
targeted.
How is this Trump's fault? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be.
Get to the
Trump-
bottom
right,
line, Mike.
Right, it's got to be Trump's
Yeah.
fault, right?
Probably.
Somehow.
I mean, they've got no histories of calls at this house for law enforcement help.
Why don't you level with me then?
Drug dealers or gang members are not likely going to call the cops for help in any situation. So that doesn't shock me. But we'll keep an eye on that. And you're right, to both your point.
I mean,
Trump
it's
is
gotta be
definitely at fault here.
somehow.
Yeah.
Probably just tensions, just like
Well, we've seen that. People just so upset that this
Right.
man is president.
can't
that
even
they
like get through
snap.
their day to day. They're just like at work, just like reading the headlines
Under
and
stress.
God, he's going to kill everybody, so I'm going to do it first. Yeah.
I could if you were a person doing these mass shootings and you got caught, it wouldn't help you necessarily like get out of jail. But that would be what you should say. Like, if you just said that, you would instantly get a certain amount of people that would actually just go like, well, it's not, you know what I mean? Like, they would probably GoFundMe him for, like, his counsel or something, and they would, like, just
Yeah, if
agree
you
with
really
it.
pushed hard this notion
Right.
that it's a
Like,
Trump
it's just, you know what?
syndrome.
I was a normal person
Yeah.
5 years ago,
sure.
and
This guy drove me crazy.
No,
All of his hate.
We've done stories about therapists that are dealing with, like, actual cases of people that are so, like, Trump derangement syndrome that they're actually dealing with this as, like, a medical issue.
my therapy would be, if he came into me for therapy and that was what was happening, my first question would flat out just be like, and how has it actually affected your day to day?
Yeah, it's a great question.
Like, that would be the
Because
only...
if to Jay's point all the time, go outside for a walk. If you stop watching those, like the cable news, those will gin you up. They will. You'll be like, you goddamn mother. But if you stop watching those and just cook dinner, watch a movie with the fam,
Like, when I was,
you will not even realize who the president is.
I know.
It will have little to no anything on your day.
So
I don't hate him, but I just don't think he's that good.
that would be my question. That would just be it. Like, what exactly in your
Whoa.
day to day?
He's making it. It's a breeding ground for hate.
It's all the hate. Putting kids in cages.
He's making the white supremacists come out and feel comfortable. That's what he's doing with his hate.
Right. I mean, where's the mass murders? Like, he's Hitler, right? So where's the genocide?
That's the first thing
happening?
the reporters do now. Find everything you can on him. See if he's posted anything about hating Trump or
If he doesn't hate
something.
Trump, they don't bring up that stuff. If there's anything that could be referenced to Trump, then it's the first thing you'll see.
or if
it's
he's
not,
a Trump
then they
fan. They want to know if a mass shooter is a Trump fan.
That's kind of
if
what
they
I was
can
trying
find
to say.
if they can find anything on any social media post or something in his
Manifesto.
manifesto that he doesn't even have to mention Trump's name. It can just be
Right.
like, we need to do something about illegal immigration.
And they can say
Whoa!
it's inspired by
Wow.
Trump.
Yeah.
Look at what this hateful rhetoric has done. But yet at the same time, Bernie Sanders fan went and shot up Steve Scalise and those baseball
shot
players,
the whip
right?
in the hip.
Yeah.
He shot the whip in the hip. The whip almost died from
Nothing
that, by
came
the
from
way.
that.
No, nobody
Nothing
connects
came.
it to Bernie, you know?
That guy had a shrine to like Rachel Maddow and Bernie Sanders, and nobody gave a shit at all. He had a hit list.
Yeah.
That dude
Right,
had a
and
hit
the thing
list
about nothing happened,
and a
just
fucking
kinda like-
rifle, and showed up at the park where he knew what time are the Republicans going to be taking the field for practice. He literally asked it. They're like, I don't know. Who
And
cares?
that story
But
just kind of went
8:30.
away like nothing.
Yeah.
Like nothing happened.
It's probably Trump's fault still, anyways.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, if
Absolutely.
Trump weren't such a evil person, then Bernie Sanders and Rachel Maddow wouldn't have to talk like this on their shows. So if
Rachel Maddow.
I just saw that she did an episode with Mark Maron. I was looking to see.
Oh,
who-
Maron's got to be a liberal douche
Oh,
too.
of course he is.
Yeah.
And I want to listen to it only because I just am so interested that when those Jay listens to it, and some people that he'll try to like bait them into it, and they kind of just try to get back to like talking about their movie or their life or whatever.
Yeah.
But with him
It's
and
a lose-lose
But if
in an
it's him and
interview.
Maddow,
him and Maddow.
oh my! I mean, is it just going to be
An
that-
hour and a half. of
Right.
just stroking each other.
Did it air already? Or
It's
coming up?
it's on his app, so I'm going to listen to it just because I'm very interested in how
What
much
is
will
the
they
pla-
actually.
That's what they have to do. They're just going to sit and shit on Trump for an hour and a half, right?
What
They're
else does Maddow do? What does she, what does
Eats
she
box.
know
She loves pussy.
besides that?
She loves pussy more than anyone in
That's
this room.
that's her gig.
Yeah.
So I
Trump-
do want to
Trump is
listen
her
to it,
gig.
like I said, because I just think that's what I'm curious. I'm curious if it really just going to be Mark Maron and Rachel Maddow just talking about.
I regularly fast forward through his 10 or 12
Yeah.
minutes at the beginning, his
Yeah,
monologue
yeah,
where
me
he just
too.
shits on Trump and
I wouldn't even know.
it's just stream of consciousness shit. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But I just find that really weird and odd and not entertaining. So I just
Yeah.
get right to the guest.
Yeah.
He's got great guests, obviously.
Yeah.
Nathan Lane on today.
Really? Birdcage?
Yeah.
Yeah. The producers?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I
fast forward through it. You told me about that because you got into Maron even before I did, and you were like, because you and E debated because E likes listening to that. What did you do today?
Other than the
And-
Trump part, anything that's and not just because I have any like feelings like that I voted for Trump. It's just because it's like, dude, he talks about it like literally the world is ending. In his like when he was first elected, he would when it first happened, man. Those little rants he would go on would be like. He'd be like, "Oh my God, I'm just wondering if we're gonna even be here next week and stuff."
Yeah.
So like,
Rachel Maddow cried on the news, dude.
right? So
Cried.
I actually don't mind his little bit about talking about sometimes upcoming shows or this or that, but yeah, the political
See,
stuff.
to me, Marin himself is sort of a nuisance to the whole show. I just want to hear the guests. He has such great
That's a
guests.
great way to put
and
it.
he barely facilitates the conversation. He just said, so how many brothers and sisters do you have? And then they're just off.
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up?
It does feel really off the cuff and not. But they're good just because the guests are so good.
Yeah.
That's
No, you're
key.
right.
Content is king, and if you've got good enough guests,
Guests who want to sit down for an hour and a half, they want to be there. They want
Yeah.
to give you the time.
and they know they're getting in front of a
Yeah.
big audience to plug their shit. So
Well, what's funny about him too is like I've never watched whatever his stand up is. Because I just don't watch that stuff for the most part. But I don't believe that I would think it's that. Like I don't understand what he does as far as his comedy, like his stand up. And you're
He's
like
neurotic,
Jay's,
dude.
And
He's-
Jay's right about
He's
his
the
like
burnt out old comic.
yeah.
Okay, well,
who was kind of success. I mean, definitely, he's a comics comic. Comedians love him. He's been on the circuit forever, but just kind of never made like now.
But he was a
can do
big
special.
asshole and made a bunch of enemies, right? That was the deal.
Probably a lot
that's
like
how he
Larry
talks
David.
about.
Probably like Larry David in a sense.
I think
kinda
even
weird.
worse, but
Maybe.
But
And
anyway,
he had a lot of problems too. But so here he is in his late 50s or whatever, hitting it big now because this podcast took off.
Right.
And now he's got a Netflix special, and I watched it, and it's fine, it's good.
well,
But he's very neurotic and uncomfortable almost.
where I was gonna go with that is like I really like him in almost everything I see. Like his Glow show on Netflix or the Marin show he had on IFC. I don't know if that's done now. It seems like it is because I haven't seen a new season in a while.
Yeah.
Like I like those things of him, but I just could not imagine that I would enjoy watching him do his comedy. Technically,
Yeah, he might surprise you. I mean, he's a pro. He's done it forever.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll
Yeah,
watch one time just to see.
I wonder how much time I can get through with Rachel Maddow and Mark Maron though on a show. That'd be.
I might
This
force
guy-
myself to listen to it
I'll
all
listen-
as a like more of a thing, like to see how
Yeah.
what it could really be like. I'm sure I won't like it.
My guess is it'll all be. She'll come in, with all this incredible information about the impeachment, blah blah blah, and insider shit that he'll get all rocked to. That's probably what they'll do.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it. Maybe other people have. You got to do a Twin Peaks. Can we hear from Twin Peaks? Nobody says a word. Anything fun this week, Jay?
All right. Good.
Okay, good. Colin Kaepernick. I get so mad at myself because I go back and forth on this dude. Like I have for 3 years now with him, and I thought more about that you mentioned yesterday, Jay, how he showed up to that workout wearing a Kunta Kinte shirt, and he wears such dumb Che Guevara shit and
Yeah.
pigs as cops on his socks.
So you have this professional sportsman, right, who's
Yeah.
showing up because he's a slave.
Right.
He's a slave to these owners. Like,
So we got to do the
dude,
buckwheat hair, Mr. Microphone
Come on,
hair,
man.
and just
You're one percenter for sure.
yeah. You made hundreds of millions of dollars.
I get it.
You're a
It didn't go your
spokesman for
way when
Nike.
you wanted to speak out. You wanted to speak out on your thing, and it didn't go your way.
The thing is, his speaking out is taking a knee. His speaking out is wearing a Che Guevara shirt. His speaking out is wearing a Kunta Kinte shirt. Just subtle digs, just all subtle digs meant to
Pig socks.
pig socks with cop hats on and badges. They're all just these subtle things to fucking needle people and piss people off.
It's very
just-
passive aggressive.
But then he refuses to be interviewed.
I know.
He talks to
It's
reporters.
such a platform. What you got to say, man?
He
Change the world. Go. Go.
Did you see him go up to the cameras after his
Yeah.
workout? He's just angry. Balls in your court, NFL. We've been wanting this for 3 years. What are you afraid of? What are you running from? It's time to stop running. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, what? You're at a job interview right now. And I think I was saying the exact opposite thing yesterday. I get that. Where it's like, you know what? Fuck it. Give him a shot somewhere. There's plenty of teams that could use, or maybe he could be better than whatever they have on the roster.
No, you don't want it?
Why not? No, I still think that's a thing, but I think, dude, Colin, what are you doing? You seem like you just want to be a professional martyr, so you don't give an interview. You don't tell people what you're fighting for. Racial inequality, social justice.
I just think he's very, very unsure of himself in defending his stance on things. I just don't think he thought this thing through very
How
hard.
is it possible that he couldn't have gotten up to speed and come up with an answer by now?
He's probably not a very smart guy, and he's uncomfortable. Like, fuck, I don't want to sit down and be grilled on this. And they're probably like, look, Colin, we can make it real friendly for you. You'll have a Rachel Maddow.
Yeah.
She'll walk you through. Nah, I don't want. Let somebody else do that. I did my part. That's what it seems to me. It's like the dude's had 3 years to say anything he wants whenever he wants, and he said very, very little.
Stephen A. Smith is convinced that Colin Kaepernick does not want to play football. He wants to be a martyr, and that's it. And he posted a video. Do you have it there, E? And Eric Reed took extreme, Eric Reed's going to be his fucking fight for him, all this. And he got into a Twitter, Stephen A. Smith and Eric Reed got into a Twitter war last night. It was fucking
And Eric
awesome.
Reed's a former Niner who supported him, right?
Yes, he took the knee with him, and then he was blackballed, essentially, they said. And he's young and very talented.
Where is he now?
He's with the Carolina Panthers, safety for them. And I think he was at Colin's prep workout thing early on Saturday. He had to leave
I think
early,
he was,
but, do you have that there, E? So I was interested, Stephen A. Smith's opinion on this. Obviously, he's going to have one.
So let me get this straight. Colin Kaepernick has been working out all of this time. Him, people in his camp, his close ones, loved ones, everybody talking about he wants to play football. He wants to play football. He's ready to play. Just give him the chance. So what does the NFL do? Recognizing that teams need a shield because they need something to hide behind, because they know that, guess what? If we bring this brother in for a workout and we don't like him or we don't want him, who knows what we're going to get accused of? We need cover. So the NFL provides that. I have no doubt Jay-Z's involved. I have no doubt Roger Goodell is involved. I have no doubt there's a host of people involved, but forget all of that. This man wanted a chance. 25 teams show up in Georgia at the Atlanta Falcons practice facility, state-of-the-art facility, NFL personnel, equipment, everything, video, everything. And what does Colin Kaepernick do? Not Tuesday, when he found out about it. Not Wednesday, not Thursday, not Friday, Saturday. 3 hours before the workout. Because of some issue with a liability waiver. Colin Kaepernick wants to change the venue. Colin Kaepernick wants his own receivers. Colin Kaepernick wants to video things himself. Colin Kaepernick wants the media. This Colin Kaepernick, media can't find him. He ain't done no interviews. He ain't talked to nobody. Media can't find him, but he wants to do anything. He wants the media available now. You see?
Oh, wagging the finger.
He don't want to play. He wants to be a martyr. But guess what? It ain't working this time. All of us believe that Colin Kaepernick would have showed out. And if he had showed out, I'm here to tell you, I believe he would have had a job inside of 2 weeks. But it didn't happen because he didn't show. He wanted to show up to a high school in Georgia. Not an NFL facility, a high school. And then YouTube it live. Like the average Joe out there gets to decide if he's on the NFL roster. You don't want to work. You just want to make noise. And you want to control the narrative.
Yeah. So you get the point. Fair. And I saw him this morning because he gets into this big battle with Eric Reed, and so I wanted to see it. This he said, oh, I'll deal with this on first take in the morning. You know, I was
He's dramatic,
oh.
isn't he?
He's very dramatic. He's funny sometimes. I can crack up at him.
I mean, as mentioned yesterday, you know, he by doing what he's doing, by being a martyr, never playing again, he goes down in this lore, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of like a young musician dying young before they have to put out their second album.
Yeah.
You know, you go out and you're like, fuck, man, that guy, wow, what we could have missed out on that guy. Well, he might have just had the first album. That might have been it. He might have blown his wad. Might have been nothing after that. Yeah. So Colin gets sort of like this.
What could have been?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this brother went to 3 straight NFC Championship games and a Super Bowl, coming within one play of winning it, and then they took it all away from him when he took a knee.
I mean,
that's a narrative.
It's a lot of pressure to come back and perform. If he doesn't do well, you know,
1 in 10 the next year. So you know that's where he was at currently when
if he gets signed and comes back and doesn't do well, then that changes his entire legacy, right? But now he can go out with this incredible legacy as this guy who worked on civil rights issues and, as he says, a martyr.
Yeah, I mean, he thinks he's going to be Muhammad Ali, you know, going to jail instead of going to fight in the war, and then, you know, becoming a martyr for the cause. I think Colin sees himself that way in a weird way.
I guess I don't buy Stephen A. like, you know, you just want to talk. No, he doesn't. You know, he's been fairly quiet. He's at a platform for 3 years, and he's really, relatively speaking, been quite quiet. His camp has too.
Right.
And part of that was while they were
that
was while they were litigating that whole collusion thing.
But that was way later. And Stephen A. says in there, you don't talk, you don't say anything, you don't give interviews. You know, he said, now you want the media here, and then noise. All you are is noise right now, because that. And he says, Stephen A. said this morning, I saw.
He could have created a hell of a lot more noise, is my point, over the last 3 years.
Should have.
If he wanted to, he could have. And so I don't know, man.
He just seems like an angry dude.
If it's martyrdom, it's not very well. I just don't think this is all well thought out by him at all. I don't know what he. You know, I don't think he knew what he wanted when he did it, and he's limping through this thing. And that's probably most accurate. Is he probably doesn't want the pressure of coming back and having to perform at that level. Because he's going to be so scrutinized if he does.
He put himself in a box too when he said, you know, they're like, oh, how long are you going to take a knee? Because half the league just like, okay, that was fun for a couple weeks, and it's like he said, you know, until social justice is reached in this country, blah blah. And it's like, what? So we go a year without any black kid getting shot at the hands of a white cop, no matter what the circumstances are? Is that what you're looking for, Colin? You're asking for something that is an impossibility, first off. There's always going to be strife in the world. There's always going to be things that are not fair or right. You know, you try to do better, but like, until this police injustice is done, it's like, okay, well, that's subjective. You know, I watched the Michael Brown footage, and I see a totally different story than you do. Sorry. You know? So I think he put himself there where it's like, he has to take a fucking knee. He has to. So, but Stephen A. said, the fact is, for you to go and move this to a high school facility, you can't just go on a high school field. You can't just bring camera crews and your fucking team of guys and security and all that. You would need to pre-approve that with the school, the superintendent. You would need proper security up there, you know, so, which means this was planned well in advance. This was a planned thing by Colin Kaepernick. He knew he wasn't going to be at this facility.
He could have planned a contingency. You know, I don't think that.
But why wouldn't you tell people that? Why wouldn't you tell the league that at least? And go, hey man, if I get there and you're not willing to meet me halfway, I can use my receivers. I can film the thing myself, so you don't have final edits on everything. If you can't at least give me that, then I've reserved this high school here, 60 miles away, and I'll just go there and do it. Whoever wants to go can go. You know, he's saying you had just enough protesters there. Oh, we support Cap, we love Cap. He said all of that is pre-planned. It's a setup. And, you know, I don't know. Page 6 is reporting that Nike planned on using the footage for a congratulatory social media post or advertisement. They learned exclusively that while Nike wasn't filming, it did have a marketing move up its sleeve in the form of a branded congratulations to be posted to Kaepernick, which, you know, there you go. They couldn't wait to do the whole fucking Nike ad campaign during the Super Bowl. Remember that whole thing? Kaepernick's attorneys claimed that the NFL demanded he sign an unusual liability waiver as a precondition for the workout. SI obtained a copy of the NFL's waiver, and according to attorney Michael McCann, the league was effectively asking Kaepernick to sign away his right to sue teams in the future, regardless of whether or not they participated in collusion. Kaepernick would not want to surrender the ability to invoke that legal right in the future. That sounds
They tried
bad.
to get him to waive his rights regarding collusion claims.
I don't think that's true. I think what they mean is if you've got NFL teams that are here and working you out, you cannot sue them for any reason if they don't hire you. You can't say it was this is the reason they didn't hire me. It was this. And I guess it's pretty standard in all of these things. So while that's true that it says, under no circumstance can you sue that blah, 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 blah. And so they're pointing, even in cases of collusion. Well, yeah, we're saying you can't sue a team that doesn't fucking hire you if they come to look at you in a workout.
Like I said yesterday, it sounds the people I heard talk on it said that it was very similar to the waiver you sign before you go to those camps, before the draft. Very
Right.
similar to that. Like,
You would think it'd be pretty easy because if that's true, what that lawyer said, he wrote an SI article about it, and he said, essentially they said you can't sue even if they find collusion, which would essentially mean he couldn't, further his case against them or whatever. I don't know what I was going to say. Shit. Yeah, I don't know. But you would think that if SI's got it, we'll put it out. We'll all read it. Because if it says in there, collusion, you lose the right to sue for collusion, blah, blah. If it was worded like that, it'd be like, hey, man. But if it's like, hey, if you get injured, it's not the league's fault. If you, if you think you had a great workout and none of the teams fucking are interested in your skill set, you can't then turn around and sue them for collusion to keep you out of the league. You can't argue that. I'm giving you a shot. Take it or leave it.
When you're
hopefully this all gets straightened out.
I doubt it. I don't think it will.
God damn.
He seems very angry to me.
when you're talking about him being like this this guy being a martyr, it did make me realize that we solved the NBA China thing. Or is that
No.
no? I'm just saying, like, what happened with that? Is that a
The
thing?
calendar turned.
Oh, okay.
The regular season started.
Oh,
That
okay,
was the
and then they just now it's just whatever.
Trump said something.
right.
had to
Like,
report
tweeted
on that.
something.
It's just funny how that things work. Like, that was a big fucking billions of dollars and all
Oh,
this
yeah.
shit, and now it's just what?
Well, if China had said, we're not playing games on the TV anymore, we cut ties with
Yeah,
ESPN,
yeah.
that would have been a real problem. But they didn't. They backed off, and, the NBA kind of, we should just pipe down a little bit about this. Will all be good.
It's just funny to me.
Adam Silver wanted that thing to just go the fuck
Oh,
away.
I know. That's why it's funny to me.
Do not pull up a picture of Adam Silver, Jesus.
Yeah, scary. Need to warn people before you post that
Slenderman.
up.
Hey, insurance, we all need it. Most of us don't know what kind of coverage we have or who provides it even. Let fellow TDC listener Brent Wasik from Wasik Insurance Services change all that. Brent has over 30 years in the business. He offers all types of insurance coverage. Isis is going to mention three of them today. Three types of insurance coverage that Brent Wasik offers.
Stop going into an immediate panic and just think.
Just think for a second,
for a
man.
quick second.
What would
Just
you
go,
insure?
3. Car, health, and
and
life.
more?
Life. Good. Home, health, life, business, commercial, and more.
There we go.
Excellent, Isis.
His immediate reaction is, "Oh no, I gotta do something! Ah,
I know.
I can't do it."
Brain turns off. Call
I'm
Brent
pressure.
Wasik, 734-455-1900.
Boy, Will I Am. Poor Will I Am.
I love that name.
I know. It's great, William. I ain't William,
Genius.
motherfucker. I'm Will I Am. Talented dude, man. Grammy Award winner. Black Eyed Peas. Man, gets hit with
Oh,
a
no.
goddamn racist on a flight. Racist flight attendant. I read this story and I was like,
Can't a sky waitress just be a sky waitress?
yeah.
Bring your drink.
I got the distinct feeling there was more to this story. I was like, Bill, I'm reading this and it's like, I don't know. I was just sitting there helping an old lady buckle her seatbelt and, next thing I know, I'm being dragged off the plane. It's like, you hear those stories, it's like,
Yeah.
I bet there was
Next
a
thing
little
I
bit
know,
more.
I'm being dragged off.
Next thing I know, I'm being interviewed by 5 cops. Racist. So she says the flight attendant called the cops on him in Australia for wearing noise-canceling headphones and missing an announcement. The musician described an atmosphere of abusive treatment on the Qantas flight from Brisbane to Sydney and defended his decision to publicly name the sky waitress to his 12.8 million Twitter followers. He claimed The airline staffer sent the police after me because I couldn't hear the PA while making beats on the plane wearing noise-canceling headphones. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna need a little more. Okay.
He was being disruptive as fuck. You know, right? He's got his headphones on, and he's probably...
I don't know what he was doing, but I know he wasn't just sitting there so focused
Right.
on his work with headphones on
No.
that he missed.
Yeah, we should be landing in Sydney here in about 15 minutes. Air Sky waitresses, if you want to do your final check through the cabin, we should be on the ground in about 15 minutes, folks.
He missed that announcement,
He
and
did.
they sent the cops after him. He told fans he dutifully, and I mean dutifully, paid attention during the flight's initial safety briefing, then put his headphones on 20 minutes later and was engrossed in his work when he innocently missed the overhead announcement to turn off his laptop.
You know what happened? He wouldn't turn off his. That's what happened. Then.
Well, dude,
He
I
wouldn't turn off his
always,
laptop.
I don't miss the announcement, but I don't turn shit off until they go, sir, you got to put your tray table up and your seat upright and turn your electronics off. I go, oh, yeah, I heard him say that 15 minutes ago. Got another 15 minutes out of it, though, before you found me. So he just, pure accident. By
was fighting it.
By the way, Will.i.am has been on how many flights around the entire globe in his life? 4 billion miles
somewhat
worth?
familiar with them.
Do you think he dutifully paid attention to the flight's initial safety briefing?
Well, you got to know how to buckle your seatbelt.
Right, exactly.
I do not. I literally put my blinders on.
What if the masks fall from the
I
top?
know. And, well, more importantly, even though it's not blowing up, is there still oxygen flowing to the
There
mask?
is, E, little known
Okay.
fact. And you want to help yourself before you help a
See,
child.
how do
I
you
think.
know that?
Because I've dutifully paid attention
Yeah,
to the briefing.
that's why.
I do not need to continue to dutifully pay attention to that briefing any more than Will.i.am does. You don't. E doesn't. You don't even fly that much
He lost
anymore.
his credibility.
Jay. I dutifully paid attention during the initial safety briefing.
Yeah, you're right. For a person who's probably taken thousands of flights in his day, he's listening to the safety announcements that they put.
And I love this part too. He said the flight attendant, who he claims gave other people of color a hard time during the flight, rudely reprimanded him, saying he had 2 minutes to stow the device or face the consequences. Do you really think Will.i.am is taking note of how the sky waitress is walking through the cabin of the plane, treating people
Well, how
of
could he
color?
notice that if he was so engrossed in his making his beats? I thought he had
Good
to
point,
have noise canceling headphones on. Was
Yeah, but
making
he's got a
art.
spidey sense. He's got
So
a
he was
Spider-Man
making
sense
art?
of people of color being mistreated, and
Gotcha.
treated rudely by a racist sky waitress. Do you think he's in the back of the plane by the shitter too? So he's got a good view.
Yeah, likely.
He's just in coach, right?
Oh yeah, just general. Like he didn't even pay for the added thing of picking his seat. He probably just took general seating.
Yeah,
Delta
middle
just
seat.
Delta just gave him a seat.
Squished into the middle.
Yep.
Checked in and out
Between a
24
fat
hours.
couple.
Fat people.
Yeah, just here I am, Bill I am, just in the middle, two fat people.
checked in-
Boy, that shitter's really close. It stinks.
Right, checked in 24 hours before just to be like, oh, where am I going to be? Aisle, window, middle? God. Oh, well.
Well, what are you gonna do?
I have 12 million Twitter followers, but I'm in the middle.
So, so she gets in his face rudely. You've got 2 minutes to shut it off and stow it, or face the consequences. The musician said he quickly complied, but still was pulled away and intimidated by 5 police officers when he got off the flight. So he's very apologetic. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I missed the announcement. I was making some magical beats, and my bad. And he just quickly stowed everything away, yet still met with 5 police officers.
My God.
Police finally let him go after other passengers corroborated his version of events, and said it was the flight attendant who was out of control.
Man, Kaepernick has more work to do, doesn't he?
He does. I mean, if
Right this wrong. If Bill I Am can't get on a flight in Australia, be
If we
treated
can't-
like a human being.
if we can't get a black-eyed pea from Brisbane to Sydney without issues, Jay, we've got much bigger problems
Major problems.
than we even knew about. Can we get Colin Kaepernick to Brisbane post haste?
Stat.
Just get him a Che Guevara shirt and send him over there. He says he was not sorry for identifying. So I've given you the details of that story. Do you think that's exactly how that played out?
No.
Yeah, but she was just racist and wanted to take on a megastar, A-lister,
Yeah.
and just be super racist to him.
Probably not.
Probably not. I don't know. I
I'd
wasn't
like
there.
to, I guess I'd like. I know you said that some of the other people on the plane said that yes. That,
Sure, he's willing. He's Bill I Am.
right.
I mean,
No. I'm just not. I'm
who
not.
wouldn't? I'd side with Bill I Am and be like, yeah, she was rude. Let him go.
No.
Officer.
That's not what I was saying. I just would. I don't know. I'd like them to give the actual. If they're going to come out and say that.
Yeah, what's the
he was
real
being treated,
story?
I want them to say from their perspective what actually happened, not just.
Well-
oh yeah, he was being because chances
Yeah.
are they didn't see it until the
She's
part.
white, he's black.
Right. Well, what if they, most people, we always say, like, when the film starts rolling, starts rolling after there's been some altercation. So if you're on a plane,
Yeah.
they probably don't realize it until now she's saying, dude, no, that's it. We're having police taking you off or something.
Right.
So I want their descriptions of what
Well,
happened, not just he
the
was being
plot-
treated bad.
The plot does thicken because people were like, "Hey, dude, you know what? You're a public figure. Not cool to actually, essentially dox this fucking Sky Waitress to your 12.8 million followers, she's now getting shit on and everything else." He said he wasn't sorry for IDing the flight attendant because he felt discrimination and was using his platform to speak up for others. He's just a little man here. He's a little guy. One woman on the flight saw the tweet storm and rushed to the rapper's side. "I was on the same flight and couldn't believe the appalling behavior of the flight attendant. My apologies on behalf of Australia," Kate Selway said. Now, I don't know at what point Kate Selway came into the fucking discussion because it doesn't seem
It's
like...
E's point, right?
Right. And that's really key because if you came in and she was like, "I don't give a shit who you are, close it now, and you can deal with the authority," going, "What a bitch, that's Will.i.am." So there was a misunderstanding. Qantas denied any race played any role in the cabin kerfuffle. I love that. Cabin kerfuffle. Mm-hmm. Can we call it a cabin kerfuffle going forward anytime there's an incident?
I do
on
want
the
to
plane?
know, honestly, I want him to say where his seat was. Because dude, he's probably in first class.
Of course he's in first
Like, that's what I'm
class.
saying,
He's
like-
on a Qantas flight, dude. Of course he's in
So
first
that's
class.
my point. Like, dude, you're in first. I just don't believe that a guy sitting in first class. And by the way, on planes they have the what do you call that? With a list of people that are on the flight. Like, it's not just like you're in the mall and you might be like, I think that's someone famous. They have a list of people, so they would know probably like.
Is he on the
holy
list
shit.
as Will.i.am? Will
yeah, they're
period
not
I
gonna-
period am?
Do you know his real name? I don't.
No, I guess I don't, but I don't know.
William
I think,
something.
Mr. I Am.
oh, I guess you're right. I didn't think about that, but
You would know,
But
and
I
there's
think they would
they've
know,
probably
though.
got a DuckDuckGo machine up in the flight. They could go on there.
I guess I don't know what his
Big-
real name is. Right?
Google his real name. Yeah, they've got Wi-Fi in those planes now.
Yeah, but what are you talking about? Like, you wouldn't know who he is.
No.
Do
I
his
get-
name, and it would come up as Will.i.am, aka Will.i.am, and you'd be like, "Oh, that's
William
how I know him."
Adams is his name. by the
Right,
way.
you would, but why would you?
Because if you looked and went, "I fucking know that guy."
Oh,
How do I
if
know
you
that
do
guy?
that, yeah,
and then
yeah.
you look at the manifesto and you go, "Who's
Yes.
Will Adams?" Type in aka fucking
you
Bill
could
I
Google-
Am.
You
You'd
could
be like,
yeah, you could just Google like.
shit.
Yeah, I think I know who that person is.
Now
Google.
it makes sense. He's doing magical beats all flight and dancing and stuff. So the plot thickens even further with Qantas. There's another band that's going. He's on his way to this this concert. Bill is. I am. So is Janet Jackson. Her guitarist claims in-flight racism as
Oh my
well.
gosh.
Qantas has rejected that, by the way, and everything. So they actually said the airline said it would back legal action against the Black Eyed Peas frontman if he does not take that back. The artist had lashed out and named her on Twitter after she called the police over an altercation, blah, blah, blah. On Monday, the airline said it would be willing to support legal action against the star absent a retraction. And if the crew member wanted to take the matter further, we'd certainly be willing to provide legal support for them to do this. That's their stand against an A-list star. Meanwhile, Janet Jackson's bassist Eric Smith also accusing Qantas of racism, claiming the airline did not permit him to take his guitar on board, despite allowing whites to do so.
There was that many people on the flight that had guitars. Like, he saw some white people with guitar and thought, hey, wait a
Three
minute.
white guys. Mike Massey just got on right there. He's got his freaking
Right.
guitar with him.
He was,
He's done that, right? Massey is always,
I think so,
yeah. He
Yeah.
carries on his guitar.
yeah, you always want to, because they'll just stow it underneath, and then they make you sign a waiver saying, we're not responsible if some shit dick breaks your guitar. And so, if you can, my guess is
That is always
if you're-
funny when I-
that's if you get on the flight first, you get down. I get my big bag up there, my guitar. But they run out of cabin space up there, and then they just, even if you had it as carry-on, if they don't have room up there to stow it, they're going to fucking make you check it before you get on. Which maybe happened to this guy, because he's like,
Could be.
Look at this, I saw there's a guitar case up there.
Belonging to a white man.
Yes. Smith said he was trying to board this flight with his instrument on Saturday and was told to check the item instead. He was also asked to sign a waiver stating the airline wouldn't be responsible for any damages. He was traveling to perform at R&B Fridays Live, featuring Janet Jackson and will.i.am. He spoke out on the incident. I'm sitting at the gate area, and this guy comes to me with a piece of paper and said, I need you to sign this, and I need you to give me your guitar. I was like, for what reason? Well, it's a waiver for damages because we need to stick your guitar under the plane, and we're not responsible for damages. He claimed at that very moment he saw other passengers who were white boarding the plane with instruments in their hand.
will.i.am's on here, this dude for Janet Jackson. Apparently other white guys are just walking out with guitars.
I think it's a different flight, but they're all flying to the same place for this concert.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
When he asked why he wasn't allowed to take his guitar as well, like these white people, they don't seem to have a problem. He said, I couldn't bring my, the flight said, I couldn't bring my instrument on despite his frustration. It's a flight attendant's discretion, and the flight attendant said I couldn't bring my instrument on. Despite his frustration, Smith said he remained calm, tried to reason with the employee. I wasn't trying to be that guy. I wasn't like, let me speak to your supervisor. What's your name? I never went there with this guy. I was just, sir, I'm just trying to work. Qantas said the crew's suggestion for Smith to check the instrument was standard procedure. When musicians bring oversized instruments on board, like guitars, our crew are required to ensure that this has been pre-arranged. So there's nothing out of the ordinary about our crew checking that this has been done. We have not received a formal complaint from Mr. Smith about this flight. And then he had tweeted at one point, I'm really upset at the way I was treated by a gate agent. Black musicians don't fly on Qantas. He tried to make me check my guitar and sign a waiver while he's letting white, all caps, musicians walk right past us, taking theirs on board. Lost my window seat too. I'm done.
Wow. Qantas is losing all that goodwill that Rain Man helped build up. Remember, Rain Man only wanted to fly Qantas.
Really? I don't remember that.
They never had a crash.
Yeah. I was going to say, wasn't Qantas regarded as like the world's best airline for a long time? I wouldn't want to fly if you haven't broken a few eggs, how do you know you're making the perfect omelet?
Oh, man.
I feel like you should have at least one or two in your background. Like, we learned a lot from that.
Maybe they have since then, but at the time of Rain Man, I think that was their deal.
Really? That's
yeah,
funny.
Charlie Babbitt tried to drag him onto a regular, Delta or something. He was like, no. He was freaking out, like hitting his head. No.
I remember the freak out. I recently watched that movie. I remember the freak out, but I didn't remember the name of the airline.
It's like, when you've got a team that's undefeated and the streak's getting longer and longer and longer, and the stress and it's piling.
It's like college basketball. You don't want to go to the tournament undefeated.
Yeah.
You want a loss.
A loss is helpful. It's like, you know what? Take that stress away. Yeah, we don't have to worry about the 72 Dolphins, all that. And then you get down to business. Qantas needs a good plane crash. If they haven't had one yet, they should really think about something like that, Yeah. Check that. I mean, and if so, good for them. Probably the best thing that ever happened to them. How long are we going to have to hear about George H.W. Bush's service dog?
Dude, they're talking about making a statue
They're
out of
talking
this
about
goddamn
it.
Sully.
They're doing it.
Damn it.
This statue?
This is the biggest farce in our government currently.
Yeah.
Right here. This dog.
They've commissioned sculptor Susan Bahari to create a bronze statue of Sully for placement in the east wing of the George H.W. Bush Presidential Library and Museum at Texas.
Didn't even
A&M.
know him.
He looked terrified of him. I'll be honest with you, Sully didn't look like he was thrilled to be hanging out with H-Dub either. Do you have pictures of this statue?
Qantas, no fatal accidents in the jet age. The third oldest airline in the world, Qantas was cited in 1988 film Rain Man as an airline to have never had an aircraft crash. Qantas never crashed, says Raymond.
Don't you think if you're a Qantas employee, you're like, can we just break the streak, put one of these into a mountain or something, and then we can just... People can stop going, oh, yeah, Qantas
I kind of
never has a
disagree
crash.
with you on
Qantas
this
never
one.
has a crash.
I mean, I get the basketball thing going in the tournament and all.
I'm telling you, the best thing for the Niners might have been that loss on Monday night.
Yeah, I don't think this
how
equates to sports.
I'm not flying Qantas.
No?
No. I want to fly.
They're so fucking safe.
I want to know who was the last person to crash. What flight was the last one to do it? I want those guys. Like, I was in California when Flight Northwest 255 went down in Detroit, and it was like, what better time to be on a Northwest flight going home in a week? It's perfect. They're going to be minding their P's and Q's. They're going to be watching their stuff,
I don't know.
extra careful. They're not going to leave, you know.
That's a hell of a statue.
It's beautiful. Look at
I
Sully.
thought that was the goddamn dog.
Look at him holding his leash. Could we
That's
go
a-
for a walk now?
What an unbelievable rendition.
Yeah, Susan's great. Susan Bahari. It will show Sully wearing his America's...
It's no Lucille Ball.
No.
It's no Ronaldo bust.
Oh, my God, Ronaldo.
It's a really nice statue.
He'll be wearing his America's vet dog's vest with the Great Seal of the United States on his back. The Yellow Lab Golden Retriever assisted the former president the last 6 months of his life before Bush died at 94. So you remember, he's capable of following a lengthy list of commands, like answering the phone and fetching items, which I thought was just dumb. You know, there's so many people on hand at the manor that the Bushes would live in. Like, really, you need me to fucking answer the phone? There's 50 people in here. What's the point? Like, if they went, oh yeah, he's good because he can smell the immediate moment he shits his pants. Each day you go, guys, get in here! He shit his pants again. And he can call him in. They know the bark, and it's like, oh, time to change his diaper.
Right.
You know what I mean? But answer the phone. What are you doing? You speak. I don't even talk. So why would I answer the phone?
It's unnecessary.
Fetch things. What things does he need? First off. And
Slippers.
You want slobber all over his slippers and a remote? You get it.
Slippers and an ascot. That's all that dude needed.
So after Bush's death, Sully was, of course, transferred. They still haven't changed this to the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center's Facility Dog Program in Bethesda. Could use a better name, be honest with you. They help veterans as they undergo physical and occupational therapy. I think they do. Come on, guy, you can do it. Lift that weight. Go. Lift it. You can do it.
Those eyes are very realistic.
I know, man.
Yeah, Susan's great.
It's really nice.
Talented artistry. I actually feel for the transgender woman on this one, Jay. Utah trans. We allowed to say trans or is
Tranny. I prefer tranny.
No, you prefer Shamale. But a Utah transgender woman said she was publicly humiliated when at the DMV, a DMV worker asked her to take off her makeup for her driver's license photo because her appearance didn't match the gender listed on it. So J.D. Dolliner gets all dolled up, gets all made up, beautiful, goes in for a picture on her license. They're like, you got a dong, dude. Take your makeup off. Stop it. Not fooling anyone.
Wearing a disguise.
Incident took place Wednesday when she was at the Fair Park driver's license office in Salt Lake City, Utah. Really, of all the places on planet Earth you can live, you're going to go Salt Lake City? Okay. All right. Going to be some problems from time to time. Just telling you. Doesn't make it right, JD, but you're going to run into some problems.
Probably.
Yeah. So the DMV employees she saw took her license photo and helped her fill out her paperwork and then walked away. About 10 minutes later, a hostile supervisor came out and told her that she would need to take her makeup off due to the gender listed on the license. Supervisor told her makeup needed to go because my appearance didn't match my gender. It wouldn't be able to be picked up by face recognition
That's
software.
actually kind of like, do women need, like, would they, like, honestly, if you were going for your driver's license photo, would women need to, like, think about that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you got yourself legit, like, as if you're going out for a Saturday night, but really that's not what you always look like. I wonder if that would be anything.
I think women oftentimes will, you don't want to look like shit in your driver's license photo.
I know.
I think plenty of girls would apply makeup and do their hair,
Yeah.
and there's no way a DMV person would go, remove your makeup.
Okay.
Never.
Yeah.
When she asked the supervisor what she should do, the supervisor said, you can use the DMV's hand sanitizer and remove your makeup.
The DMV's hand sanitizer.
One of those just like push your palm,
Yeah.
Putting that on your eyes and stuff. Ah.
And she was caked it on, right?
Sure.
She was dolled up proper. Dolliner then stood in the middle of the DMV as everyone there watched and scrubbed off her makeup using the sanitizer and paper towels. Oh, that stinks. She felt,
man.
I was humiliated. You know what it's like, E, to be humiliated in public?
I do.
She felt humiliated and began to cry because the hand sanitizer stung her eyes and face.
I'll bet.
It sure did. Because the sanitizer wasn't an effective makeup remover, it left makeup smeared all over my face. She then had her picture retaken, this time with lipstick residue around her mouth and cheeks. The picture is now the image featured on her temp license, which she's now using. It hurts a lot. This story stinks.
Man.
It's so bad. Even you can admit that.
Yeah.
the department said there was a, I'm sorry, there was a little miscommunication over a policy that prohibits extreme makeup, which clarified as being makeup that would materially change a person's appearance enough to make it hard to ID them when previous photos, compared to previous photos, or help facilitate fraud. We would definitely never support disrespecting any individual in our offices. That's pretty disrespectful. You probably didn't need to see that one all the way through to see how that might be a little humiliating, right? He said the department intends to have additional training done. Yeah, we need training now to know how to.
He needs to be better trained.
Yeah, we're gonna have additional training done so people, hey, here's the thing. How about you don't treat people like dick lickers, okay? How about we do that? Training over. Knock them dead, kids. So the department said they intend to send Doliner a license featuring the original photo she had taken, the one with her makeup on. She hasn't heard from the department yet. She doesn't believe that there was a policy misinterpretation. It was discriminatory, completely discriminatory. I'm kind of with her on this one. I got to be honest.
Do you
have pictures of her, though?
Sure. 1 second.
Just a lady.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Shit.
Yeah, see? Now, in the DMV's
Looks like an
defense,
Arquette, doesn't she?
Sort of. There's a lot to untangle there. That's a complicated web.
That's, whew,
Yeah.
a lot going on.
So, go back
Is there some Lanza in her, too? God, she's half Arquette, half Lanza. Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, if that walked in, could you...
Needs to get her roots done
Bad.
before we talk about anything.
Yeah.
Girl, go get your roots done.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you walked in like that and the DMV went, wait a minute.
Look, man, you've got these low-level counter people who are trying to apply a policy.
Yeah.
Like, this is one where they probably do need better training.
Yeah.
Honestly, you kind of laugh about that. Oh, training, whatever. But seriously, you've got this counter person like, fuck, it's clearly a dude. I got to take this guy's picture.
Yeah.
Fuck, you should, I've got this policy that says you have to be identifiable. You can't have makeup that, makes you look like a different person. Sir, ma'am, can you please take off your makeup? Management gets involved and goes, oh, this is,
I see
oversight.
what's going
We
on
shouldn't
here.
have-
You are not a lady.
Shouldn't have applied that policy in that manner.
You want to go outside and
This is
bar
what
hop.
happens when these things are complicated, man.
Yeah. You want to go out and get crazy and wild in the clubs after hours and be a lady. You do that in your time. When it comes to legal documents by the government, you will not pull this clown makeup out. You are a man and you know it. Here's some paper towels. Clean yourself up, sir.
Prove you're not a man. Prove it.
Clean that mess off your face, sir.
Dude,
No, that was a
go
great
ahead.
breakdown, Jay. That was a
Right.
great breakdown of it because you're right. It probably is just someone going, I don't know what to do.
I know
here,
we're not
boss.
supposed to have pictures look different than the person's actual image.
I don't want to get in trouble for this.
Yeah,
when,
I'm not
when,
going to assume it's a hate-filled thing.
Just
Like I'm not going to assume that, Will.i.am was, treated in a hateful manner.
way. Well, that's the thing. The whole extending benefit of the doubt to people instead of just jumping to, oh my God, I've been wronged. It must be because I'm different in some way.
Especially when there's such a nice setup social media post on a platter, right?
Yeah.
And it's, oh, yeah, I'm going to get this out there. You go, hold on, pump the brakes. What was
Yeah.
really behind this?
You would, for that one, that totally makes sense because if that girl goes, if the person at the counter goes, I know there's a policy here, but I don't want to be a dick licker to this person. Seems nice.
Consult a
but-
supervisor on that one.
But then it's like, worst case scenario. If you play it out and it goes, God damn it, that dude put all that face makeup on and then robbed a bank 2 weeks later. And now they're going, how could you let this go? How did you?
They
the
trace it
policies-
back to you.
The policy's right here.
That's what
clear
a
as
deaf
day.
person is thinking, though, right? They're like, fuck. What if,
I know that
what
you
if the
do.
worst case happens and they fucking pin it on me? Sir, ma'am.
Oh, if he robs a bank, they're going to know it was me that issued the license. They're going to go, policy 3, right there.
Yes.
What does it say?
Yes.
Read it. Read it. And then I'm going to be in all kinds of trouble, probably get accessory to bank robbery or something.
Just got an overrule follower is what you have.
Yeah.
Dude,
no, it probably is exactly that, Jay. And you wish the supervisor needs more training than anything else because you would think the supervisor would go, hey, ma'am, could you come back here for a minute?
I think the supervisor would see that shit walk in and go, I got this one.
I'll take this one. Ma'am, we'll see you right over here. take her in the back room and sit her down and just be like, look.
I don't want to be insensitive.
Here's
This is our
where I'm coming
policy.
Look at rule 3.
You tell me.
Now, here's a mirror.
You tell me.
Here's a mirror. Now, what am I to do? What am I to do? I
You're
don't
me.
know.
You're me now.
Yeah. Switch places with me. Policy 3, read it out loud. Read
You're
it
used to
again.
switching places. Just do it one more time.
Can you switch identities one more time? I'll be you, you be me. Here's the mirror. And then you could sort of explain it like, look, help me help you.
Yeah.
Help me help
But then
you.
it's, I was pulled into a back room and berated by a supervisor.
And then the
everybody
supervisor-
in the public area was laughing at me as I was traipsed through this hallway to this strange room
or
where I was locked
the
inside.
supervisor goes, enough, JD, hold on. The other option was I take this clearly clown makeup up dude in the middle of the fucking DMV.
Give you
with
some
100
hand
people,
sanitizer, squirt it in your
squirt
eyes.
it in your eyes, and give you a sheet of 8.5 by 11 fucking paper and say, clean it up.
Pick it, lady.
No, I calmly said, okay, I just want to, this could be an issue because of policy 3, not my policy. Government's policy, DMV.
Yeah.
Department of Motor Vehicles, government agency, their policy.
This one fell through the cracks.
I didn't know what to do. I'm the
supervisor's
supervisor. So I took this and took it in the back, and I tried to be as careful as I could. And I think that there's a little detail we didn't mention, or we did mention, but it went by quick in there.
The roots.
No, touched on the roots. The lady that was helping her before she went in the back and got the supervisor was very helpful, helping her fill out the paperwork and all that stuff, and took her picture, and then went, I've done everything I can. I still can't figure out what to do with this. Boss! And then went in the back, got the boss, and the boss was like, God, I saw that thing walk in an hour ago.
Yeah.
I'll handle this.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. It just
It's
Complicated world,
Yep,
E.
it's complicated.
Well, it got me thinking of the, even though I don't watch it all the time, I did watch the South Park episode this last week about transgender.
Fucking awesome. Man.
Absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. This super PC'd up
Yeah.
vice principal, wants everything to be PC and blah, blah, blah. They're so woke. She apparently had a boyfriend years ago. They broke up, and he's just like macho man. Oh, yeah. And so he's all of a sudden comes out as a woman because she's in the strong woman competition, and she's
Yeah.
kicking
And
ass.
everybody just had.
And this dude's just beating the shit out of chicks.
And they show like a boxing scene, and he's just like pummeling her.
just
but everyone's sitting there
flattening
and have to be
chicks.
like, well, let's.
Just a lady.
She transitioned 2 weeks ago, Heather did.
Yep, Heather transitioned 2 weeks ago. Oh, yeah. And he comes out into the gymnasium and he's got like a bikini on with just giant dick and ball balls.
Sure, of course.
Like they've got
As
it cut
you
out
would.
And
for the
nobody can
balls.
say anything.
It's swinging. Oh, yeah. It's just Heather here. Yeah, strongest woman alive.
And if anybody hints at anything, he just like.
It's transphobic. You are transphobic. Dude, it's funny as shit.
Hey, Hamlin Pubs, they're inviting you to their 6 Metro Detroit locations. Come enjoy Hamlin Pubs' great food, their drinks, their atmosphere. Whether you're watching the game with your buddies or out for a meal with the family, it's always a great time at their Rochester, Clarkston, Chesterfield, 2 Shelby Township locations, as well as their newest location in Richmond.
Got an email, Jay. We can do
An email or
before
two. Let's see
get
what we
outta
got.
here.
Jay writes in, Gentlemen in E, the end of poem number 1390, T. Roy busted in with some Popeyes chicken sandwiches.
Yep.
Not even 5 minutes after ingestion of said sandwiches, things got very heated between Mike and E and almost came to blows. Jay, you were right to pass up on yours. Those sandwiches angry up the blood. No wonder fights break out over these things. This is a matter that needs to be looked into.
we
A
were
committee
2
must
bites
be
in.
formed, and findings must be found. Jay. That's very astute of you, Jay.
Well, he
Connected
was
to the
sort of
sandwich.
being a fuckface.
No,
so
I wasn't that.
Yes, you were.
No.
What was that even about?
I don't know. It was the chicken sandwich, dude. It is. I understand why people are murdering people in line and things are going. E and I each had like 1 or 2 bites, and then, we
It was
almost-
on.
If either one of us would have had a gun, we would have used it. So
Not that I want to rekindle that, but what was that about, that argument?
I don't even remember.
Jesus? He remembers. He's
I mean, it
fidgeting
was
over
about
there.
The porno.
The porno, that's
yeah.
right.
And I told him too because E and I have talked. This is why it bothered me, and people listening probably
Still-
won't get it. Whatever. I'm fine. It was the chicken sandwich made me lashed, and I'm sorry. I apologize to you afterwards. I think I did, anyways. If not, I didn't.
Well, you tried to explain it, and I still
I
didn't
tried to
really
explain
get it.
because E was giving me this look like, oh yeah, like he could see me just sitting at home watching like German puke porn all night at Saturday night at midnight. And I'm like, What the fuck are you talking
I
about?
think
Because
okay.
because
You'll
E and
be able to respond.
I have talked about this many times off the air. Like, both of us are not into creepy shit.
Okie dokie, Mike.
Neither of us are real. Like, he watches porn, but he's not interested in Two Girls, One Cup. He's not interested in fucking crazy shit. We joke about a lot of stuff, but E and I are pretty fucking basic, simple dudes. And so when he was like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, I can absolutely. I was like, what are you talking about? What are you, seriously? E, we've talked about this 100 times upstairs.
That's
like,
not
people
what's
think,
happening, though.
people, you know, occasional toilet seat around a girl's neck and fucking gagging it like that shit, you know, but it's a joke. And he was like, where are you seeing all this stuff? And it was all of that shit is years and years ago that I saw that stuff.
For one, I don't think that's ever been explained like that. And two,
Shouldn't need to be.
Yes, it should.
Nope.
And yes, it should.
You know what, you fucking asshole.
We do a show, dude, where it's funny,
No,
and
he's
you
just-
always bring this stuff up. And for some reason, that time, just in my mind, I was finally like, like, dude, I could see a listener sending a link to, like, because you talk about the
And
toilet
that would have
seat.
been fine. That would have been if you said some listener sent a link and then you watched it. You asked, Jay. You started this.
I know.
Blah, blah, blah. You opened it and watched and went, oh, my God, gross. But you made it seem like I was in some dark place by
think
myself at the table going,
you took it like that.
where's some more German puke porn in the bathtub I can jacks
I
to?
think you took it like that, but that's certainly
Dude,
not where it was.
and the fucking facial expressions you make in that when you're like, oh, okay, like, oh, I don't know. I think we all know you'd be watching German puke porn.
Yeah, but if
I don't know
if
what
he
you're
thinks
talking
that,
about.
who cares?
I don't
right?
even know what you're
No, I don't.
talking about, like making facial
Yes,
expressions.
you do sometimes, and you make them
Okay.
sometimes like, I don't even know what this psychopath is upset about. Like, I don't know, and I'm trying to explain to you strictly because you and I have personally talked many times upstairs about how we're not creepy fucking dudes. We're not creepy sex weirdos.
Yeah, but nothing, dude. That was just way too defensive, and it was certainly
Chicken sandwich from Popeyes, dick licker.
I guess.
It was 2 bites into it.
Yeah, it went from 0 to 100 pretty quick.
Yeah, well, guys got stabbed in line before they even got a bite of the sandwich. Now imagine me and E 2 bites
You
deep.
want to pin it on something? Pin it on that.
Well,
You should have started filming, Jay, and just screaming "World Star" in the background. That's the only fucking thing we fucked up on is we didn't have a recorder. Well, actually, we did have a recorder, but no one yelled "World
There
Star."
were no blows. You need a blow.
Oh,
Couldn't
whatever.
punch Jesus.
Save the rest for tomorrow.
It's like Popeye with spinach, you know. It's Popeye's chicken for me and E. All right, let's get out of here. Have a good rest of the day, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. So yeah, I guess that's it. We'll be back for a couple days anyways. See you then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.